Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. On this page, I talk about technology and money, and sometimes I talk about other things. If you're new here, welcome. I'm happy that the algorithm brought you to my channel, and if you're a returning subscriber, I'm back. I'm glad that you're back. So, before I get into tonight's topic or today's topic, I just want to take a moment to say, take a deep breath. Have you taken a deep breath today? Have you given yourself a moment a moment of quietness and meditation to yourself to just kind of breathe and just kind of relax? Take a moment. Just sometimes for me, it's good to just have those just moments of quiet and just a little bit chill before I start my day, before I start a meeting, like for work, sometimes before I go into a store, or before I take on a big task. Sometimes it's just good for me. And to just kind of take a moment to just kind of breathe and chill, kind of center myself. So yeah, all right. So tonight won't be before y'all long. Just wanted to do just a quick live here for those who watch the replay. I just wanted to do a quick live on the comparison Olympics, but then also before that, just taking a moment to thank and the YouTube channel hit 300 subscribers one day last week. Let's see. Let me check. Let me check my numbers. I think now, right now, I think the channel is right at 318 subscribers. I believe. Yeah, 318. So thank you for everyone who has who follows the channel, shared the content um, with your friends, with your professional colleagues, your nursing students. Yeah, the growth has been something. It's been quite surprising. I appreciate each and every subscriber, folks that reach out to me and send me messages and things like that. So I wanted to just take a moment to thank new subscribers and folks who have shared and just take a moment to talk about a few minutes to talk about overcoming the comparison Olympics. Before I get into that, let me just say what I'm about to share. I'm an expert at me, right? So I'm not an expert. So I always tell people, don't believe in any and everything I say. Now today I will share a resource, but always do your own research on anything. Always, right? That's just not with things that I share on my page about technology and money or the profession that I work in. It's just always good to do your own due diligence with anything that you come across online. Oh, and if you haven't yet, I appreciate if you can like this video, and if you find the information in it helpful, share it. All right, share it with your friends and your colleagues, and then also consider subscribing to the channel. Yeah, I appreciate that. And my contact information, it will be in the description box if you'd like to reach out to me. So yeah, the comparison Olympics. I noticed so I have gone viral over on TikTok a couple of times the past few weeks. It is interesting because when I share things, sometimes they're light and just funny or just something informational about the profession where I work. Yeah, I don't expect them to go viral. I don't expect them to get 20,000, 30,000 views in the messages. And so it's always a bit of a surprise because, I'm considered still to be a micro influencer, small. Platform is still pretty small. So it's always a little surprising and, hearing from people from all over the world and getting questions. So, yeah, so I wanted some of the messages that I get or the comments folks leaving messages, folks, this is my discernment picking up comparison, like I am a registered nurse and I do work in tech, and I worked in tech or informatics for over 19 years. And so I know with all that's happening in the profession right now, there are a lot of, from what I've heard. So when I say a lot of, I've heard nurses and nurses at all levels, registered nurses, LPNs, LVNs, nursing assistants, and I've even heard from some respiratory therapists, and some non, like, still clinical folks, or still people working in healthcare, but not necessarily nurses, but people wanted to make a transition away from the bedside, away from a clinical environment, away from like a hospital, and comparing and feeling like where they are right now is not good enough, or maybe not good enough, but just not looking at what others have and comparing that to where they are. And just know that when I when I talk to you all, or when I say things, sometimes I'm also talking to myself and keeping some things in mind. So I wanted to share a few thoughts on how I work to overcome the comparison Olympics, and a resource that I find helpful um, to do that. Because, it's interesting about being online, how the algorithms bring you content to look at, whether on YouTube or Facebook or TikTok or Instagram or LinkedIn. Now, I was listening to a podcast this morning on Davos, the World Economic Forum, and one of the speakers was talking about how the algorithms work, how the Facebook algorithm brings you news that is supposedly true, how the Amazon algorithm brings you what you should buy, shows you what you should buy, how the Twitter algorithm brings you the news, how the Google algorithm tells you what is true. Just, it was really interesting. Um, so it's really easy being online, and when you're engaging with algorithms and liking and sharing and subscribing, how the algorithm brings you more of what it thinks you might want to see, or what you may, or make suggestions and things like that. So sometimes when content is brought to you like that, either my videos or anyone else's videos, right? You can start to get into that comparison thing, right? Comparing yourself, like where you are in your career, relationships, life, other things, or what you have to what others have. And so I wanted to share a few thoughts about how I work regularly to overcome the comparison Olympics in my own life, around like career, because I mentioned this on TikTok in one of my last videos, or video last week, how I'm doing the 75 hard program, not for weight loss, because I know some folks do it for weight loss. I'm doing it for mental discipline and agility, because there's some things in my life that I want to change, around like career, just looking at things differently, and having more discipline. And and I've read about it, and how folks say how it has changed their lives, and helps with like discipline, and mental agility, and just being more sharp, and finding ways to look at situations that I'm in, and just getting like fresh perspectives. Yeah. So anyway, around the comparison Olympics. So just three things. Again, I don't want to be before you guys long. Is when you see things online and they start to make you feel away, or like profession, like the videos that I've shared. I'm working my way through comments and messages that I've gotten from the last couple that have gone, the last two or three that have gone viral. But just one thing to remember is, when we're seeing these things online, and folks are sharing what's good about their careers, or the beautiful wonderful vacations that they're on, or the beautiful Tesla, I want a Tesla, but Tesla that they have, or just anything that we see online. First thing is, just remember that nobody's life is perfect, y'all, right? No one life is perfect. Now, life is good, right? A lot of people's lives may be good, or they might be good, right? So some people do have good lives, but no one's lives is perfect. And just know that when you see things online, that you're just seeing a slice of someone's life, right? Or even if you have someone who is like a lifestyle content creator, or a luxury content creator, or like they've taken their professional career and they've made courses, and teaching you how to do certain things, and but also showing the good things, right? So just keeping in mind that, what we're seeing is literally a snapshot, a moment of video. Now, I have read that videos are more impactful than photos, but it's just a video, it's just a photo, right? Um, so that's just something for us to keep in mind when we see these things, or when we're wanting to make changes in our own lives, or in our own careers, and seeing others that are where we want to be, or are on the path where we want to be, or not, and not quite there yet, and feeling less than, right? There's no need to feel less than, right? So working to overcome that, because just remember that no one's life is perfect. So number two, I always think it's good to just take a moment or time to take an honest stock of what you want to change, or what we want to change in our lives. Research and then start with baby steps to do that change. So, what do I mean by that when I say that? Like for careers, or, when I hear from nurses who are wanting to work in informatics, or learn more about informatics, or, when I talk about certain things here on YouTube or over on TikTok, and nurses like, I don't know where to start, or I want to be where you are, I want to do that, I don't want to be in the bedside anymore, things like that. But just taking a moment to away from what you see online, and what people are, because I started following more informatics nurses, and nurses who are not at the bedside. But when you see someone who's on a path to where you want to be, taking a moment at a time to just get away from what you see online, right? And just and take an honest stock of where you are, like an honest assessment. Okay, I'm at the bedside. I've been at the bedside 2 years, and I know I want to change. And I just saw a nurse on YouTube who talks about working in tech. I want to learn more about that. Reach out to them. Yes, send them a message. That's a start. But then also taking an honest stock of where you are. Like, what is your education? What is your real interest? Where can you go in real life or online, but also in real life, to learn more about where you want to go, and then start with baby steps. You don't have to like like I've seen someone like mopping the ocean in a funny video one day. You don't have to mop the ocean. You can just do small incremental changes and baby steps to where you want to be. And that's just not with career changes or relationships or anything. Or it could be, you can apply that to anything, right? So I think about, okay, the 75 hard journey that I'm doing, which I'm like between 3 and 4 weeks in. I got to see what day I'm on now. It's just starting to become automatic. But try not to think about, yeah, there's a target, but there's also baby steps to get there. And sometimes focusing on the baby steps to get there can make getting to the target more palpable than trying to change everything all at once. Like I'm trying to work on my mental discipline and mental agility. So that's number two. So number one, remember that no one's life is perfect when you see it online. Number two, taking a moment or time, an honest stock of what you want to change, research that, and then start with baby steps to that change. And then three, this is just my last one again. I said I didn't want to be before y'all long, but three, in overcoming the comparison Olympics, and just taking a moment, is really take time offline. And when I say that, I mean like really putting the phone down, putting the tablet down, getting off of the computer, and being away from those electronic devices and the algorithms, and scrolling on Pinterest and scrolling on Instagram and watching YouTube videos or TikTok videos or reading Twitter. Just like put all down, right? And just take a time away from offline. I know some folks say go out into nature and connect with nature and ground yourself. You would do that. But the point I'm making with this one is getting away from seeing what other people are doing and the other wins, because it's good to see people's wins, right, and see people like achieving and doing good things and enjoying that, but it's also good for yourself and your own mental health or mental discipline, or just focusing, away from everyone online and focusing on you and your families. Like, mute people. If someone is talking about something that's making you feel away, mute the topic, or block the words. Like, if you don't want to hear about a certain Hollywood family and who just got married, block the words, unfollow someone, right? Do that. I feel like breaks are needed. I take social media breaks all the time. I'm not big on Facebook. Um, so I do like YouTube because I feel like you can learn a lot. TikTok as well, Twitter, LinkedIn. But sometimes that's why, I know they say for consistent growth that it's good to um that it's good to be consistent, like with doing videos and things like that, YouTube and all that. But sometimes I really do need those breaks, okay? And I think it's good. So I did want to share in wrapping up. And again, if you've made it to this far in the video, can you just put like a green heart in the comments? Like, can you just leave a green heart that I know that you made it this far? So I know that this is hitting home and that you're listening. I would appreciate it, because then I know that, oh, okay. So that someone listened this far and that is helping you. So if this is helping you and you're finding it valuable, can you please leave a green heart in the comments? Thank you. So one resource, you guys know I love resources. I'm all about resources. So one resource that I have found helpful is just reading encouraging comment in different ways to think about certain things from folks that I follow on Instagram. And one of those is Dr. Nidra Tawab. She is a therapist. She also writes about like boundaries and relationship things. And again, anything that you read online, like I always tell y'all, always do your own due diligence. If you feel like you need therapy, please do that. So this is definitely not a substitute. But one thing I came across, that an affirmation, I'm really big on affirmation. And one affirmation that she posted a few weeks ago about comparison that I think is really good, when I think about overcoming the comparison Olympics, is this affirmation. So I am satisfied with my particular life, and I'm comfortable celebrating the lives of others without feeling as if I need to acquire what they have. I'm not here to be like others. I'm here to be myself, and discovering who am and what I want is my goal. And discovering who I am and what I want is my goal. My biggest goal is to become more of who I am. And I can't do that if I'm trying to be like anyone else. So, an earlier video, I talked about, your path is your path, right? So, like, I can be a CEO, and some even can be a CEO, but how we got to the CEO position may be very different, and that is okay, right? We all don't have to have the same direct path to achieve a goal. And so the last thing I was going to share is there 8 reasons to unfollow people on social media when we're talking about the overcoming the comparison Olympics. One reason it could be they post too often for your liking, like, oh, they're posting again, which is why I talked about my number 3 tip. Sometimes it's just good to just get away from the online stuff totally. Or you feel annoyed, frustrated, or angry by their posts. She also says their posts aren't relevant to you. Are you finding yourself complaining about their content? You feel inferior, not enough, often. So again, that comparison thing, to me, that's what it says to me. The content is not consistent with who you are. Or you don't like what they represent. You just you don't have to follow someone who um, you don't have to follow someone if they don't have the same beliefs that you have. And why would you? Right? If they make you feel away, why would you continue following or engaging with that content? And the last thing is you find yourself comparing instead of enjoying the content. So that's it, y'all. I just wanted to share a few thoughts on overcoming the comparison Olympics. I hope you made it this far in the video. If you're finding it helpful, if you found it helpful, please do like this video, share it, subscribe to my channel, and again, thank you everyone for the 300 plus followers. If there's more content that you want to hear from me, I'll leave my contact contact information will be in the description and also on the main page. And I am working my way through the messages from everyone. So, all right, y'all, that's it. Hope you have a good evening and you be good to yourselves.